Brilliance Audio.
Bared by Angel Payne. Performed by Aidan Snow. The truth. It bared so much. Joyous things, beautiful things. But sometimes, many times, too many things. Dark corners, buried secrets, exposures that altered lives. Princess Jade Cimarron was trying to weigh which side of the truth had done just that to her world. As she stood on the veranda outside her big brother's royal receiving room looking over the Mediterranean waves below, she might as well have been looking into a bottomless abyss, called the rest of her life. She did not jump there yet, but was preparing to. It was likely a given, based on the revelation that had blown her world apart in the last 24 hours. But the dread was weirdly comforting, an affirmation of sorts, matching so many of the feelings that had lurked in her belly for as long as she could remember. The constant thunderclouds in her psyche, despite the bright sunshine defining most days on the island of Arcadia, this one included. The knowledge, the uncanny certainty that this day would come. That she would be standing on this very balcony, watching as a pair of men strolled in and faced Everest with vindictive glee. Tristan Karras was the polished protege of 14 Santel, down to his slicked hair, dark suit, and mafia movie-style stance. Oh yes, despite the balmy temperature of this June day, both men looked ready for a scene in some violent spy thriller. But they matched only up to the neck. Where 14's face was set in pure business neutrality, Tristan wore a smirk, empowered by the familiarity of knowing his king since their grade school days. Times that were long gone. Everest was now His Majesty King Everest of Arcadia, determined to guide his kingdom into a modernized era, and Tristan Karras was a member of the movement determined to stop him. Never mind that the Pura, their island's version of a radical fundamentalist sect, had suffered more setbacks than success during their tumultuous history. Apparently, literally naming themselves the Latin word for pure was their self-written invitation to take the dirtiest advantages whenever luck and opportunity collided in their favor. Collisions like this one. Fate had definitely delivered all the luck on a giant platter. The aligning stars that resulted in the reliably sourced information the men presented to Everest just 24 hours ago. Their upper hand was so significant that they had room for benevolence, granting their king the night for reviewing copies of their incriminating documents before delivering their demands for keeping quiet about them. Thankfully, Everest had not been prideful about seizing the offer. He closeted himself in that office, reading the documents well past midnight. Jade had not let the hours go wasted either. If today's meeting went down as she anticipated, as she feared, she would have to pull the proverbial trigger on her own response plan. From the moment Karras stepped forward, her trigger finger began to itch. A small comfort came as Requiem emerged from a side door, joining her on the veranda, confirming she was not alone in the instinct. Despite the golden glory of the afternoon, her lady's maid shivered before muttering, "Why is it little surprise that the monsters are right on time?" Jade looped an elbow with her friend, but did not reply. M's accusation was comforting, but not necessarily true. Santel and Karras were not monsters. They were just men. Arcadian men. Which meant they were also proud, stubborn, determined, and dogged, to the point of turning into fanatics. Which also meant that they had not given up on digging deep for one specific truth. The fact she had always sensed. Perhaps had always known. And was now validated by the Pura's physical evidence. She was not the true princess of Arcadia Island. And not even her brother, a monarch who'd been named after a mountain, could move this one.